Yo, what's good? It's BMAR, and you're watching Cloudy Conversations.
All right, what's going on, everybody? As you can see, we're back with another episode. It's your girl, Big T, and we got a familiar face to the show, our friend, BMAR.
What's good, y'all? Happy to be back. It's only right.
Yes, we're definitely excited to, get things kicked back off, and we couldn't think of a better way to do it than with a friend to the room. And you also have an upcoming project, so the timing couldn't have been perfect.
Right.
Our last interview, which we went pretty in-depth, for those who haven't watched, definitely go back and check it out. Give us a little update on what life's been like since.
Yeah. Since the album, man, just self-healing, growth, learning myself more. Aside from the music, just looking at myself as a human being, paying attention to my patterns and what I do, and just taking out the things that I don't need to make time for the things I do need, just to go up more in life, The older I get, as you can relate, and a lot of people can relate, the older you get, you don't have a lot of time for unnecessary things. So you got to start making that decision, start rationalizing and being like, what do I need? What do I don't need? Pros and cons, a little maintenance in your life. So I've been on that type of vibe, as well as making the best music I can make. That's all I do. So yeah, I'm just grateful, man. I'm blessed. I'm super grateful.
Have you had any big life changes? Finished school? Maybe had a kid or anything like that?
Nah. Didn't have no kids. Thank God. Yeah, that's on the album. You'll hear about it. But
I'm saying, I didn't know you was with the fam yesterday, so
yeah.
how they been doing?
Everybody's good. Everybody's blessed. Everyone's grateful, man. Just appreciative, man. It's the little things that matter for real, So, but on that type of vibe, just trying to center myself so when I go in the studio, I can just let out whatever's in there and not have to try too hard.
That's definitely understandable.
Just like real, whatever I'm going through, just put it on wax, and as long as I'm comfortable with who I am, I'll be comfortable with what's on the record. So that's how I look at it. I don't want to portray anything that's too extra or too much. Just as long as I'm cool with myself and I'm cool with the people around me, that's what I'm cool with.
So was there, what do you feel, I guess I can say, has it been you getting older that sparked your desire to, want to go on this self journey of learning yourself more, figuring out, what exactly you're going to do with your craft, with yourself?
It's a mixture of that, but also running into the same wall too many times. And you're like, that's why if you don't change, you choose, what you're getting into. You got to start.
At some point, you got to look in the mirror and wonder, is it me? Or what can I change to help not keep hitting this wall?
It may not be you may not be the one doing the action that makes it negative, but you're the one that's allowing it. And I had to look at myself and be like, all right, there's some people you got to subtract. There's some things you got to change. There's some ways of thinking you got to kind of adjust. Be real with yourself. Don't kill yourself, but be honest and just be like, look, I gotta make a change because I want better for myself. And I want to, if my trajectory is up, I can't be going straight or down. I have to aim up, So it's just about being real. It's nothing too deep. It's about being honest with yourself and just having in a circle too. God and the universe blessed me with the people around me. If you're on your journey, those things will gravitate towards you. So the people around you matter as well. Your homies, your significant other, anybody. Make sure everybody in your circle is for you, keeps it real with you. They don't sugarcoat shit. They're on top of you, and that's a big factor for real.
No, I definitely agree. I feel like last year was kind of like that type of year for me as well. I just had to buckle down and really figure out what's what. Opening up the studios, trying to expand the podcast and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It do become a lot.
Yeah.
Which is the same thing with the music. You're trying to. Yeah. When you do everything, it's not really just I'm gonna go to the studio and record. You are the studio, you are the engineer and the artist.
You,
so
man.
It's damn, I can't not be productive because I'm the full cycle. So
absolutely,
if you're not in the right mental space or in the right place, it's really hard to be creative and produce anything of substance. So.
Period. Exactly.
So speaking on the process and everything, what would you say has changed about your sound, or what tools have you added to your creative process?
That's a dope question. I think with my music and how I execute, I feel like everything's the same. But I think my agenda and my end goal is different. I don't want to just satisfy my ego anymore. I don't want to just make something I think is dope. I want to make something that can bring a real feeling to the listener. And I feel like that's what I've been trying to grow on. And a lot of times, especially as a producer, you have to kind of take a back seat. You have to like the record, but at the same time, you have to consider what the audience is going to feel. This album had like 22 songs. There's no way I'm putting that much out unless it's a deluxe. So I was like, let me strip down what each record has to hit that feeling, what I'm trying to convey. If it's not hitting that feeling, then it's not making the cut. So I dropped 24 songs in 2023, and that was kind of like my exercise, like kind of just in the gym shooting around, like getting songs out. But like for the album, I really need to be honest with myself and be like, okay, I can't waste any space here. I can't waste a lyric. I can't waste the instrument. I can't waste any second. I have to make sure that every record I put out has that evoking emotion quality to where people can live with it. And it takes a lot, yo, because you fall in love with these songs, bro. Like, any artist relates. You fall in love with a painting, you fall in love with a video, a filter you use, a lens, but it may not be exactly what you need for that moment and whatever you're trying to convey. So I guess, long story short, I think it's just getting that emotion is what I'm trying to do. Make something that's timeless and be real with myself. If it's not, it can sound ill. I can say the dopest line, but if it's not hitting the soul, if it's not hitting that evoke emotion aspect, then I'm not really,
Not
there's no
pushing it,
point,
yeah. And I guess that's also kind of another difference in the process is that you're actually like kind of A&R in it, opposed to like, yo, this song is just so fire, it gotta go. You're really like, nah, like it don't fit the message of the album, so we gotta strip it. We love it, but we might have to save it for something else, which kind of also sets different from a lot of the music that's put out today in general, because most times it's like I went to the studio, got that song, I got 7 songs now, so I'm about to put it all out because that's my collection of songs. And with you, like you said, you had 24 songs, which is already a lot of songs within itself to cipher through. And then it's not like you're making 1-minute songs, which is making, you know what I'm saying? So it's a lot that goes into it. And for the chronological order, the name titles, like, how do you come up with all that? Like, is that also a part of like the way you're going to release the song? Like, and because when I was looking at the titles of some of the songs, it seemed like I could read it off, and it's like maybe a sentence or something. Like, was that intentional?
100%. Has to be. You can't spitball a timeless album, man. You can't. And a lot of the times, man, as cliche as it sounds, it's God, bro. It's the universe, it's the vibe, whatever you believe in. It's that synergy you get. It's that gut feeling. You have to go with it. For my albums and my titles and my sequence, and I try to, whatever I'm feeling in that moment, whether I'm drawing from a real life experience or whether I'm drawing from how I feel, I try to put that all in the music, the title, the art, because I want people to feel exactly what I felt when I was going through that. I don't want to sell them short. And it's a disservice to real art. Why would you play yourself and play the audience by putting out something that you can do better at? So yeah, I'd say that, man. It comes from, it's intentional because it needs to make sense and it needs to fit the vibe of what I was feeling at the moment. Because if it doesn't, I feel like if I gave 90%, it's not good enough. It has to hit that pinnacle.
And are you taking input from like other people in the room, or are you solely like in charge of everything?
Definitely taking input. Social media is good at that. I put these songs out, I do like a little content video, and I see how people react. And it lets me know, okay, cool, they like the ones that, we were just talking about it before, they like the ones that they can relate to and have a personal memory towards, that emotional connection. I definitely take criticism, man, because one person doesn't know everything. I like surrounding myself with creatives, artists, producers, and getting their feedback, because that shit matters. You can't just go in thinking that your shit is it. You need human opinion. You need people's viewpoint, because if not, it's like, bet on yourself ultimately, but at the same time, like, if you have a close circle of people who you respect and have a good outlook on this shit, definitely take their opinion, because it matters, yo. And we're not making it for ourselves, we're making it for the public. So you be playing yourself, you just made it for you and didn't care what people thought. Definitely got to consider others' opinions.
So when you let others hear the music, what is kind of like the consensus feedback that you get?
I mean, a lot of people, I'm grateful they like it. I only play people things that I'm proud of. So, I'm not going to, but there's times where I was working on the project, I play something for my boy, he reacts like, doesn't really say nothing or just, that's cool. Play him another joint, he's like, yo.
That's the one.
Yeah, and you just take that and you're like, all right, I know where I got to go. I know, and I'm not saying it's solely based on his opinion. If you like
But
it.
it's definitely something to take heed to because it's another ear that didn't create it. So
And then you see other people reacting the same way he did. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, maybe this is one of those. So definitely that it matters though. Outside opinion matters, man. And it takes you got to really just drop your ego, man, and drop the fact that you spent 8 hours on that beat. Drop the fact that you mixed it. But how do they feel about it? Yeah.
totally agree. You mentioned it a little bit before, but let's talk about the project that came out in 2023, the Vault 23, and how that one came about. You had 24 tracks on that, which you just mentioned have a 24 for this upcoming album. So just give us a little bit of details on that album and some of your favorite tracks and things like that.
Yeah, that project was literally all the singles I dropped in 2023. I just wanted to give a treat out, what I mean? Just remind people like, hey, look, I drop these every week. So it was one of those albums that was like a compilation. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't consider it like a project, but it was every song I dropped in 2023. And I wanted to give like my real listeners and just, new listeners as well, just an experience and a reminder that I put that work in 23. And it's diverse. It's just 2023 was a year of just experimenting, just learning, making music, and just trying things out. Staying in the gym, not worrying about feedback, just having fun. And it prepped me during the album. I was making the album while I was doing that. So, it was more like a drill. It was like drills, making songs and putting them out and just having fun and staying consistent and keeping my numbers up too.
Right, because that'd be the worst
Sure.
part when it's like you don't necessarily have an album, but you got the music. So that's a creative way to, like you said, good to fans something to keep them going.
Word.
What is one of your favorite tracks off of that project?
Very slept on one. You Deserve It. R&B joint. I dropped that like February. Another one, Give That Kid His Life Back, was about a kid named James Basco Smith who was a victim of knife violence in London. I found him on social media. Some random kid I just seen. He was wrongfully stabbed. These dudes in London thought that he was somebody else. They stabbed him and ended up paralyzing him for like life. And now he's in a wheelchair. He's paralyzed. He can't really talk. He's lost a lot of his
Mobility,
exactly. And that record was the last song I dropped of the year. And it was powerful because it wasn't for me. It was just something I felt
compelled to do.
Exactly. And that one stands out. Just going with the emotion and going with the flow.
Did you have a favorite collab from that project?
Definitely. Creeping with Slim Finesse. It's my boy, man. He's from Georgia, I believe. He's from ATL, man. That's my boy. And Creeping is insane. That might be on the deluxe for the new album because I just love that song so much. I might just throw it back in y'all face.
Yeah, y'all ain't hear it right the first time.
Yeah, y'all gotta run that back, man, because that joint is crazy.
So when you do those collabs, are you like finishing the song and then sending it over? Are you in the stew with them? Like, how do some of those processes come about?
Well, yeah, for that one specifically, it varies. If it's a local artist, I like cooking in person because it's that energy, Like Get You Right is another one off the Vault 23. We're all in the studio.
Okay.
It started out, it's funny, my homegirl, Dina, shout out her, she's killing shit. She came through to visit, she's from Maryland.
Okay.
We were chilling, we just weren't inspired. I was like, let's go to a winery, let's talk about life, let's just live. Got a lot of shit out, talked about a lot of personal things, a lot of trauma, music, all that shit. Came back, started making the beat, bro, we just
cooked it out right then
and it was a party song too, which is crazy. You think we make something deep. Nah, like it's just that sometimes you just gotta live life and create the vibe and get out your own way. We'd be so locked in, like, oh, we're gonna do this. Nah, sometimes life has to like take the wheel and be like, you're gonna do this instead.